Hi everyone, Diane here, welcome to my channel, hope you're all well. Today I'm going to be announcing the possibility for you to take part in a little competition which we've organised with Meeden. As you know, Meeden are my favourite suppliers of materials, and I just want to take you on a little journey. Actually, I'll tell you first of all that this is one of the prizes. This is a 96 colour set, a new product that they've got. I haven't actually seen it, but this is it on their website, and it's got 96 colours, the hard paints, that is to say, not in tubes, which is nice because a lot of people don't like using tubes. Anyway, so that's the prize, and also you can win one of these 12 well palettes, which are really quite handy. So all you have to do in order to stand a chance of winning is go to their website and purchase something, anything. Doesn't have to be anything big, anything, but just purchase it from their website using our code Diane15, which gives you a 15% discount and also helps us out if you feel like doing so. And I'm going to very quickly run through my favorite Meeden products here as an encouragement to you to give yourself a break this Christmas and get yourself something really nice from Meeden, because you can depend on them. If you have ever any problems with anything you get from them, you don't like it, or it comes broken or whatever, they will always stand by their products. They're a very good company. So I first started my Meeden journey actually in Canterbury a couple of years ago, about 3-4 years ago, when I bought these palettes. This one here, I found it on Amazon. I didn't know about them at that time, and you can put a tiny little bit of paint in each of these wells. They're very small, and then you can mix them on the lid. So this is quite a handy thing to have if you're traveling around. So I bought that. I couldn't believe how cheap it was when you consider that they're actually, ceramic, and they're very good ceramic. They don't scratch and they stay white. And I also bought this one, which has got sort of rectangular spaces. And I squeezed out some of my paints into there, and I think that's a set of core. So that's what you can do if you've got a set of tubes and you don't want to paint from the tube on a big palette. You can get one of these, fill the holes, and then Bob's your uncle. So you've got your mixing space here as well. So that's really good. And these are really cheap as chips. They're only a few dollars each. And then there are all of these, and you've seen me use these palettes a lot. I like this one because you've got space to put your paint here from your tube, and then there's room to kind of dilute it down a little bit, plenty of space, and you never need to use more than half of this for the colours that you're painting with. The other half you can use to do your mixes with, or you can have this in conjunction with one of these. So you put your paints in here, and then you do your mixing on there. So they work together as a set. Similarly, this one with this one, that works as a set as well. You put your paints in here, different colour in each section, and you mix on this big ceramic plate. Like I said, they're not expensive, and they're much better than using the kitchen plates that you have, because first of all, if you break one of your kitchen plates, you won't be happy. And secondly, these are, you have no problem with toxicity or anything like that. So you keep them for this special use. They're very shiny. That means that they don't scratch and they don't absorb the color, but they don't bead up either. If you use plastic is cheap, plastic is good, but you will find that the paint, when you mix it, will bead, whereas on this ceramic it doesn't, and that's a big advantage. If you feel like really lashing out and having a big set of paints out all in one go, you can go for this Studio palette, which I sometimes use. At the moment it's clean, it doesn't have anything in it, but what you can do if you buy a set of Meeden paints, for example, or any other brand in tubes, you can put your colours out and you can keep them out. And so you put a little bit of whatever colour in here, and then you mix in the centre. Okay, and that's the way personally I prefer to paint. if I'm doing something for myself. That's the way I prefer to paint, although I don't always show you that technique because not everybody wants to do it like that. But it's a good way of making progress if you're actually doing bigger paintings. If you're only doing tiny ones, you do whatever you want. Anyway, this set of paints is very good. These colours are good. I can't recommend them too highly for beginners especially. So, you know, don't hesitate over that. While we're finishing off on the palettes, this is their airtight plastic palette, which has a completely different function from the ceramic ones. This one is great if you want to keep your paints. If you're going to use gouache or something like that, you need something water airtight, so you can put your paints in here and come back to them and they won't dry out and so on and so forth. That's actually still tacky, and I haven't used this for ages. So this is a good one, and it has a separate palette which comes out. So you've got all this mixing space. You've got all of this and all of this, and basically as well all of this, unless you fill all of this up with paint, which you could if you wanted to. So that's another good one, and that's not very expensive, and it's airtight, so that's great. And then we've got their Traveller's set, which is this, which comes with water brushes too. A pack of 4 or 3. I think they've got 4 in their packs now. This is an older one. Haven't used it yet. I do use these brushes. I've got some others. These are new. I haven't got round to opening these ones yet. There's round and flat in there. They're handy. And then there's this, which is actually great for traveling. A good range of colours. That one's gone a bit runny because I left water on it. But yeah, you've got all your oranges and yellows, you've got your reds and purples, your greens, your blues, and so on and so forth. And there's a few, even some metallics there. So, and this is for drying off your brush. It's a little bit of sponge. You can put your brush in there. And that's a great thing too. That's only about $16. Good present for somebody who's starting out in art. So there's all of that. This is a very nifty water container. Has 2 sections. You can put water in, one to keep clean and this one for washing. So clean water, dirty water. And it's rather stylish, I think. It's been highly recommended by a few of us on YouTube here. So there's that. And of course, not to forget the watercolor paper, which is the same as Baohong. It is the same paper. It just has a different cover and it's made by the same people, and it is good paper. Being made to a new method, which the Chinese have developed, the people who invented the Baohong paper. And so, yeah, I use this a lot. I'm supplied it by Meeden, so I don't want to say that I actually buy it from choice, but I have it and it's good. I've never had a problem with any of their paper. This is a new product that they have where they've got 3 different kinds of paper in one pad. It has drawbacks to do with accessibility and so on, but it is a good starter. You can separate the sections out just by doing that. You've got your rough at the beginning, then you've got your cold press, and then here you've got your hot press. There we go. So you've got your 3 sections there, 3 sections of papers, and they're stuck together at the top with some linen tape and around the sides here with glue. So that has advantages and disadvantages. We're in the process of hopefully improving that. Okay, so that's a very quick look at my favourite Meeden products. And as I said, if you want to take part in the competition, and why wouldn't you, to win this set of 96 colours and or a one of these palettes, just go to the meedenart.com, and if you want to purchase something that is, then you go into the competition as well. But don't forget to do that. To qualify, you have to put in Diane 15 in the checkout, where it asks for codes for discounts, and you get 15% off, which will cover the cost of the postage. If you buy more, if you spend more than, I think it's $50 or $60, then postage is free in any case, but there is a small postage charge, shipping charge for under that amount. Shipping has got very expensive in America lately, hasn't it? And that's a bit of a shame. But I think it's all to do with Amazon. Really? Anyway, so that's that, and now we're going to get on with some painting. Okay, so I have sketched out a little design here. I've got 3 bird houses, or a bird tray and 2 bird houses, and some birds on top, and I'm going to paint this using this Meeden set here, and I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to choose the colours I'm going to use to do this with. I'm going to put some out in this palette, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to use, for the background, we will probably want something like cobalt blue, I think. So this is the way I like to do it. I just put a little dab of cobalt blue out, like that. We will also be wanting burnt sienna, and because that's a completely different colour, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to put that in some hot water, so hold on a second. This is good because it gives me an opportunity to show you how to deal with the lid when it's stuck like that. Just get a glass of hot water, as hot as, just out of the tap, if you have reasonably hot water in your tap. Otherwise, just bring it to a warm temperature. Don't need to make it boil. And just put the lid end in, and then you'll find that it will open, really quite easily, actually. I know some people think it doesn't work, but it does, because it's just that the plastic needs to be expanded a little bit. So we'll put some of that brown out. And what else are we going to need? Maybe I might put out some black, because I want to dull down the colours a little bit. So I might use a bit of black to do that. And I'm going to use probably acrylic pens for the snow on top of these things. So we'll get started with those 3 colours and see how that goes. Oh, yes, I need red, of course, because one of these or 2 of these birds are going to be robins. So I'm not quite sure how this is going to go. I don't really know quite what I'm going to do. I've had a look at a few sort of inspirational bits and pieces here and there, and I don't know. Anyway, so let's grab a brush. This is Princeton Aqua Elite size 8, and I'll get some water. And you've got 2 choices. You can either paint the background first, or you can paint the birds first. And I think I'm going to paint the background first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the background in water, with water, reasonably close to my birds, but it doesn't matter too much, because I'm not going to paint accurately up to them. And clearly I had a little bit of blue paint on this brush before I started, but that actually doesn't matter too much, does it? Because we were going to put blue in the background anyway. So let's dip into our blue, and let's give it a nice winter's day sky. And we don't need to go right up to the birds, but if you can get reasonably close. Sometimes it's quite nice to give them let them have a little bit of a halo, if you know what I mean, a light halo around the bird. And his legs are going to be just drawn in with pen anyway. So we just kind of do this. Whatever makes you happy and relaxed. Don't try too hard, I think, is my motto for 2025. It's not worth trying too hard. The harder you try, the more likely you are to fail. All right, so there we are. We've got a nice, loose, wintry sky. And I could, if I wanted to, I could put some salt on that to give it a kind of snowy texture. could do that, but I think what I'll probably do is just leave it like that. And I'm going to find myself some green. This is sap green. Oh, here we go again. Let's see if we can get this to open without too much trauma. Yeah, there we go. And even that water isn't all that hot. It's just enough to get it going. So I put a bit of sap green out there. And I'm going to make a slightly darker mixture using a bit of black for some Christmas trees, which I'm going to drop into the distance. I just put those all along the line of the hill. This is a painting I haven't planned. I haven't done a trial, so I don't know what this is going to look like at all. And now I'm going to put a little bit of blue along the hill line there, and then sort of dilute that down a bit more. You know, you get halfway through and you think, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Don't think that, just keep going. Just keep going. Now, I don't know whether that's dry up there or not yet. Probably it would be worthwhile either waiting for it to dry or get out the trusty hairdryer. I'm just putting in some darker green at the bottom of my trees. And then I'm going to dry the sky. Okay, so let's think about robins. And let's paint in their breasts red. I think I'm going to make them, shall I make them all robins or shall we, why not? Let's make them all little robin redbreasts. And I need some brown for their backs. There we are. And if we want a bit more detail, what we'll do is we will come in with pen and do that, because that's the way we usually do it, isn't it? Okay, so then we're going to paint the perches upon which we are perching, and let's go for some bluey green. This one, I think, can be this colour. And we'll do the pole in black. And the one next to it can be brown, maybe. And let's do this in brown. This is just a tray he's standing on. And then maybe we'll do the middle one in a sort of bluey grey colour. Just make a bit of shadow underneath the roof line. And maybe we'll make the brown, put brown here. Sort of dark browny grey. And then we need some white for the roofs, don't we? We make, let me see. What are we going to do next? I think I'm going to dry it and have a think. I'm just going to rub out the pencil lines where I drew the roofs. And I'm going to rub out these lines too. And let's just have a little bit of whoops, that's not very clean. A little bit of pale blue. To indicate the shadow on the snowy rooftops. We can always add some white gouache if we want, if you feel you need it. And yeah, I think at this point I'm definitely going to start thinking about using a pen. Let's have a 0.3 liner here. And we'll just draw in the details of the birds in whatever way you want. And if you want, you can add details for the birdhouse too. Keep our lines nice and wonky. I'm going to put in some wood panelling, like this. And we'll draw down the pole as well. Like that. And just coming out over here, we're going to put some twigs. And some berries. Okay, I don't know why I'm working from right to left. I have noticed recently I've been doing that. I don't know quite why, but anyway. So this one now. Always remember to put your bird's legs near the tail. It just makes them look better balanced. And he's holding a little branch. Just put a little bit to outline the snow a little bit, but then the most of the lines are going to be here. The birdhouse. Down the pole. Okay. And then we have another branch coming out here. Maybe this one might have a few leaves on it. Just a few leaves left over from the autumn. And this little birdie here. His legs coming like that. Okie doke. You could put 3 dimensions on this tray, but I'm going to keep it without any perspective and just leave it like that. And you can either imagine that it's just a post that the bird is standing on, or a feeding tray going out. And then I think I might just find myself a small brush. Just put a little bit of, oh, that's no good. That should be okay. That's a draw well. A little bit of green. And these leaves, well, no, not green, actually. They should be brown because it's winter. Not too much. And then maybe a tiny couple of dabs of red over here for these berries. Again, not too much. And then down the bottom here, I think I need to put something, but I don't know quite what. think I might just build up the colour a little bit with some, maybe a little bit of grey under. So not really anything specific, just it's a snowy day and we just want to put some, you know, someone's been tramping around there feeding the birds. So we have some footprints there. And then maybe we just might want to sharpen up some of the trees, not too many. And then perhaps a little bit shadow there under those trees in the distance. Okay, I think I'm going to probably almost call that a day, but what I do want to do first, I think, is just to give the birds some wings. And a bit more definition. For their tails. And maybe we'll just make their backs a little bit darker brown in places, maybe. Because they shouldn't really be red all over, should they? Although they could be if they were cardinals. And a little bit more red on the fronts. And then maybe we want to darken the inside of those holes there. And maybe a little bit more shadow on that snow. And the other thing that I was going to do was possibly just add a little bit of snow up here. And we could sprinkle some too. I don't know if this brush will sprinkle. Yeah, it will. See, even the little brush. Let's just put some snow there and perhaps a little bit on here and there. Right, I'm going to call that a day. So we've tried out the Meeden paints. Don't forget about the competition and pop over to meedenart.com and see what you can see. So there we are. That's an idea for a little card or something like that, or just a way of spending an hour of your time. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you again soon, everybody. Bye for now. Bye-bye.